morning. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar. We're going to be discussing our admissions and our support and success services we have available for students. So we're really excited to have you join us. My name is Amanda Heller. I'm the Director of Enrollment Services, and Jen Pizzuto, one of our senior student success coaches, is with us today. And while we wait for people to trickle in, we'd love for you to post in our chat box where you're joining us from. It's always sort of fun to see where everyone is across the US and even outside the US.
Welcome, everyone. It's so exciting to be here with you all today. Oh, Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay.
Charlotte's near me.
New Jersey. Jessica,
All
I'm
right.
also logging in from New Jersey.
We've got East Coast people. That's good.
Yeah, a lot of East Coast.
2 Charlottes.
That's really cool too.
Awesome. Well, while we have folks trickling in, my name is Troy Jenkins. I'm the Director of Enrollment Management here at ACHS. I'm going to be kind of behind the scenes today, just running some slides and pulling the levers and things. But just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. We really enjoy bringing these webinars to you all. This is another in our series about becoming a student at ACHS. We typically focus on the things that have to happen to become a student. Admissions processes, financial aid, things like that. But we've had a lot of questions from students about what is it going to be like once I am a student? So as you are making the decision to come here, what would it be like to be a student in an online environment? How do you run your classes? But also, it's been a while since I've been in school. So am I going to be successful? And what can you do to help me through to graduation? So our expert panelists today are going to walk us through that. You may have noticed that your line is muted. We're broadcasting from the Zoom webinar platform. So we keep that off to have the highest quality sound for the recording that we'll send out later. We appreciate everyone being here, participating with us, because even after we're done today, this will be up on our YouTube channel where others can benefit from the information that we hear about also. So we do want to hear from you. So if you have questions, absolutely put them in the chat box, and we'll do our best to answer those along the way to the best of our ability. One final note about the chat box: if you're new to Zoom or if it's been a while, you should all have the ability to chat with either host and panelist or everyone. We would just request that you set it to everyone so that when you do put a question in there, everyone's able to see it and everyone can see the answer as well. That would be great. So without further ado, let me hand it off and we'll get started.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Troy. And
Thanks,
again,
Troy.
welcome everyone who's able to attend live today. We really do enjoy doing these webinars. We take a look at what are some of the top questions we've been getting the last couple months and develop, some information that's going to be helpful to students no matter where you're at in the process. And recently, we've had a lot of questions about, you're an online college. What does that look like when it's time to become a student? So Jen and I have worked together to put together some important information and tips and tricks and resources to set you up for success. And please, like Troy said, if you have questions along the way, feel free, feel confident and comfortable posting the question in the chat or Q&A box, and we'll get to those as we go through, if not at the end. But hello again, my name's Amanda. I'm the Director of Enrollment Services. And of course, Jen Pizzuto, our student success coach, is with me today. And we're super excited to be here with you. Next slide, please.
Yeah. Thanks so much for inviting me, Amanda. It's really great to be able to be here and speak to potential students. So it's exciting.
A little bit about what Jen and I will be covering. We're going to talk a little bit about how admissions supports you from the very beginning of the process through applying and enrolling in school. We're going to cover success and student support resources, some key policies that not everyone is always aware of, especially if they've been out of school for a while. And then officially how to apply and enroll if you haven't started that part of the process. Next slide. So, planning for success. Literally, it starts from the very beginning. A lot of students don't realize that we work a little bit differently than some other schools, and that we truly want to be your resource and advocate from the very first day we connect with you. We want to understand your goals, your interests, your professional plans, any challenges and obstacles you've had in the past or may come up in the future. And we collect all this information. It's like a bunch of puzzle pieces, so we can help you choose the best program to fit your needs and goals and get you headed on that right pathway, really. Because I'm sure a lot of us have experienced that before, even back maybe our very first time going to college, like, why am I in these classes? What am I doing? So we try to get ahead of that and really coach you to find the best program you're going to thrive in and be excited about, and helps maintain that passion you have for holistic health. And then we don't just disappear after you apply. Your admissions advisor is here to help support you with time commitment, what kind of schedule should you build, securing your funding, and then of course, actually enrolling and getting registered for your first term. So we are here every step of the way to help you navigate that. But also we want to try to make the process as smooth as possible while setting you up for success moving forward. Next slide. So a little bit real quickly about what we offer. We have a variety of undergrad and graduate programs. A lot of them are professionally focused. So the students that I typically work with have a either very specific goal, like I want to be an aromatherapist, or sometimes goals are not completely determined. So, or students are interested in more than one modality, but your admissions advisors are there to help you figure out, should I start with a professional credential or a certificate? But no matter what, we help provide a vision of that pathway for you, where you can either take your educational goals step by step, or we'll jump directly into a credential that's going to benefit you in the most time effective way and get you something you can utilize professionally sooner rather than later. So we're here to, even help you put the short-term and long-term goals into place so you have a pathway and you don't feel lost along the way. Next slide. So a little bit about what to expect, and Jen, definitely pop in here if you'd like, but we are fully an online college. So students access online classroom environment. We happen to use Canvas. My students literally can do their schoolwork anywhere they have a reliable internet and a computer. I even have a student right now, she's not working. Her husband travels and does work on a boat. Literally, she does all her school while sailing across the world. It's pretty amazing. Our classes have a very consistent schedule. So classes start on Monday for example, our summer term coming up. Classes start on Monday. Your due dates are Sunday at midnight, and you know exactly what you need to accomplish. The professor provides the course syllabi. You have the classroom to navigate and access 24/7. And your professors also provide weekly Zoom meetings for that live interaction. Because a lot of my students will ask, do I actually get to know my classmates, get to know the professor? And so we do provide those opportunities to see each other's faces and get to know your professor connect and build that rapport with your classmates as you go through your classes. But the key thing, we have a very student-centric model in that we want things to be flexible. So students have access to the classroom 24/7. It's really awesome. So you can work and be a student. You can be a parent and be a student, or do a little bit of everything and still fit in your studies. It's all about figuring out, and that's where your admissions advisor, as well as your student success coach comes in, is we're going to continue to work with you and help you navigate how much time you have available so you're on a schedule that's going to work for you and still create that flexibility. And then, of course, you also build that rapport with your classmates and professor through the discussion boards in the classroom. That's, again, open 24/7. So as you're posting throughout the week, you have that consistent interaction. And then, of course, students also have access to, like, they get an email set up and access to email and orientation. So they have full access to the Google Suite. And I know a lot of my students utilize that because, like, Google Word and such. The students get access and a subscription to Grammarly. And then there's different discounts for students. Maybe students want to purchase additional products in the apothecary shop. There's a special discount for you. And all those things are made available to you as you enroll. Anything to add, Jen?
No, I think that's great, Amanda. I do think that, yeah, I think it's a really nice blend of asynchronous coursework, right? So you can really go at your own pace, but then there are specific due dates where you have to submit your work. So it's structured in that sense that there are dates where you're meant to post, and there's for assignments to be due, that assignments are due, but along the way you can kind of go at your own pace. So yeah, no, that's great.
I think a lot of my students will bring up, like, I need due dates so I keep on track throughout the term, but I need that flexibility to live my life and take care of everything around school. So it's that perfect blend for sure. Next slide. So once you are part of the ACHS family, you're a student, you're enrolling, let's talk about setting yourself up, maintaining success, and what kind of support resources are there to help you do that.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many, right? So as an ACHS student, you get tons of support starting with faculty. We have a very supportive staff of faculty and deans who are all extremely invested in our student success and are working tirelessly to keep up with the holistic health practice trends, and are really here to support you and be here to help you learn and grow along the way. Like Amanda said, you get access to your faculty via weekly Zoom meetings, and also there's virtual office hours. You can always connect through email. And if you really do want some one-on-one time, face-to-face time, you can always set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting to connect with your faculty and talk about assignments and questions that you may have about the content. They're very available and here for our students. And I also think it's worth mentioning that many are doing amazing work in the field of holistic health sciences and practices, and bring that expertise and knowledge into the classroom, because that's what it's about. It's about community and bringing this work out into our respective communities. So that's one support. Another fantastic support is our peer tutor center. So we have a great staff of peer tutors who are also ACHS students and have gone through the curriculum themselves and have firsthand experience of what it's like to come into a fully online college after, maybe taking a little time off or not, but figuring out how to manage that asynchronous piece that we were talking about, and also to support you in your assignments. And, sometimes doing APA research papers is something you haven't done in a little while, and your peer tutors are here to support that. So yeah, that's another great support. We also provide academic advising, right? So Amanda talked about the stackable programs and the different classes that you can take. And your student advisor will be there with you every single semester to check in and make sure that the classes that you're taking align with your program guidelines, and that you're set up for success in terms of getting to graduation. So we're definitely here for that. And, we're available to answer any questions that you may have about your, projected class schedule. We also have our library services. We have in each class, as Amanda mentioned, we use Canvas as our classroom environment. And within each classroom, we have what's called a library launchpad, which is essentially an amazing comprehensive database that houses a vast amount of scholarly sources that are needed for your research. And in my opinion, I think one of the exciting pieces of the library launchpad is that there's a 24/7 chat function. So if you're doing your research and maybe, it's after ACHS hours and you're not able to connect with our librarian that's here on staff, you're able to connect with a librarian through that chat function to get the research that you need to be successful in your classes. Another support that we offer is ADA accommodations, and this is a resource that's available for students who have documented disabilities and could potentially benefit from having in-class accommodations based on eligibility. And we have a fantastic ADA specialist who could answer more questions about that if that's something that's interesting
If
to
at
you
any
or something.
time, you have questions about our ADA accommodations and access policy, please feel free to tell your admissions advisor, student services advisor, so we can get you in touch with Miss Rossi. A lot of people don't realize that's even an option with an online college, and it's something we do take really seriously to provide to students.
Yep. And I also noticed that Troy put in the chat to get to know your faculty. So that's awesome. You can check out that link and see what our faculty members are up to and who they are and how they're here to support you. So that's a really great link. Thanks for putting that in the chat.
And one thing I wanted to point out about faculty that's really, I felt unique being in academia for the last 20 years is our professors, the background they have, but the passion for teaching the online classes is very unique. They know how to work with you as an online student. And like Jen said, have flexible schedules, office hours. Will schedule one-on-one appointments. So they're 100% there. I just tell students all the time, it's just being brave to say, hey, I have a question or I need help, or even just for networking purposes. Because they work in their field, that's a huge opportunity. And if you have a specific interest or niche that you're wanting to move towards, or want to work with like a certain population, or, however that's leading, I've even seen professors refer you to other professors or professionals for advice and information, or to get more additional resources to finish a paper. So they're very supportive of you and to help you with that, to be successful in your goals.
Yeah. And before we move to the next slide, I know I said a lot of things. So are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free to post in the chat if you do, or give us an emoji if we're doing okay.
There's not a question, but I know we share with students when they enroll, they typically are sort of matched up with an advisor in the academic department. So they actually get to know you throughout their program. So I just wanted to share that although that entire department is there to support you, you do have a point of contact you actually get to know really well. And I feel like, Jen, and maybe you have a different way of sort of expressing this, but you're sort of that person's cheerleader too throughout their program.
Well, cheerleader, accountability partner, check-in person. Yeah, for sure. I think that's what's so unique and special about working here at ACHS is that, you really do get to know your students so well that you're working with, and yeah, big supporter and for sure, we work very closely with each
And
student.
then other piece of that is she mentioned scheduling. Sometimes it's just picking the right electives. If you're in a program that have electives, this is my goal. Which classes should I take? When are they available? You know, Jen and her team, that's also what they're experts at.
Well, in addition to yeah, electives also too, thinking about how do we set up, if you're going to be taking 4 classes, how do we set that up in a way that feels really manageable to you as the student, right? So if you know that writing big, long research papers is something that you're going to want to balance out with a class that maybe has labs or more discussion posts or even coaching simulations, so that you're doing many different things in your semester that feel exciting and whole to you. We are really mindful about thinking about how to pair classes up that work for you as an individual as well.
I really appreciate that, because I feel like when I was in college, I had to figure it all out on my own. I don't see any questions so far. We can probably go on to the
Thank you,
next
Sylvia,
slide.
for the thumbs up.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, let's know.
Jana.
Okay. More student support and resources. So academic coaching, which is like my favorite thing, because I am a student success coach. And so how could I talk about that? So really, academic coaching is different than academic advising, right? That's more about picking the classes and making sure you're aligned with your program. But academic coaching is really about co-creating, you know, the coach and the student working together to co-create strength-based strategies to help you work through whatever barriers might be showing up, preventing you from getting to that success, academic success that you're looking to achieve. And that looks different for every person. So academic coaching or student success coaching is very unique to each individual student who we work with. And, you know, the conversations around what potential goals do you have and how can we support you and come up with a plan that works towards those goals is unique to each person. And it's really an enriching conversation. And this is part of what, you know, Amanda was saying before, is that we do really get to work very closely together and get to know each other very well in this sort of coaching environment. Yeah, there's no one coaching framework that works for everybody, right? Because we are different and our, you know, time management may show up for one student in one way, and time management may show up differently for another student in another way. So it really is thinking about your own unique situation and how we can come up with plans to support success for you as an individual. So that's just a little bit about the coaching side of it. And then we do have a Facebook coaching group. So this is a really great place for students to go and kind of talk to each other and say, hey, how are you all organizing your, you know, encyclopedia of herbs? Or I'm thinking about putting this tea together, but I'm not sure. What do you all think about this? It's active, it's lively. Students are always posting and supporting each other. So it's a great resource for students to be able to go and see what's going on with your peers and your other students that you're working with. We do have an alumni and career services. So this is also an amazing resource, you know, particularly for the alumni side of it. We like to keep in contact with all of our graduates to see what they're up to, how they're bringing holistic health practices into their communities. Many times our alumni will come back and share their stories with our current students and really serve as you know, leaders in the field, and we're so super proud of them. And so we do stay very deeply connected with our alumni. And then in terms of what career services could look like as a student, we certainly could talk about resume building and interview preparation, and maybe even doing some mock interviews so that you can get some practice before going into an interview, and, you know, just kind of talking through what your plans are post graduation and kind of just thinking through what career goals could look look like for you. So that's that in terms of the career services. We offer student success seminars, usually 3 or 4 times per semester, and they're hosted by the student services team. We all take turns facilitating these seminars. Some of the topics that we cover are navigating an online classroom, which is great for students who are just coming in and maybe haven't had that experience of being in, you know, a fully online classroom environment. We also talk about study strategies, and more than anything, it's really an opportunity for us to all just be together in space, talking and sharing our experiences and learning from each other. They are, you know, it's a really great time. I find the seminars to be a really special time for us to all gather and get to see, you know, to see each other and see how we're doing.
It's like
So
really
those you
building community in that online environment where some online program students have told me, I never talked to anyone in 2 years. So it provides that
yeah.
option, sure.
And the seminars were kind of, you know, born out of that need for just real community and community networking connection. And they're set up different. They're not webinars. So everybody comes in, everybody's welcome to turn on their cameras. Everybody's dogs and children and grandchildren are welcome to make an appearance. We really just want to know you and see you and connect with you. And yes, we have these awesome conversations during seminar that are specific to academics, but also it's just such a lovely time just to get to see each other and talk and share space. So yeah, they are a wonderful resource for sure.
And tell me, I've also seen y'all even like everyone grab their cup of tea and cup of coffee and let's all connect in those.
Yeah,
And
for
it's like
sure.
warm and fuzzy. So it's really neat.
Yeah, it's great. We have Timely Care, which is an amazing on-demand access, provides students on-demand access to medical care and mental health support. So as a student here at ACHS, you have access to this resource. The way to get into it, to log into it, is in each one of your classrooms. So you just literally can click on the Timely Care icon and it'll bring you to this resource. It's completely confidential. Whatever, you know, you share it with Timely Care is definitely, you know, confidential between you and the practitioner that you're working with. But what it does is it provides access to mental health practitioners. If you'd like to set up meetings weekly or every other week with the same practitioner, you can do that. There is a hotline component. So if something is going on, if a student is in crisis and needs to talk to a mental health practitioner immediately, there's access to that. There's a component for an online sort of urgent care type situation. So if you're not feeling well, you can go on, you can have a face-to-face meeting with a doctor and tell them your symptoms. And, you know, I've heard really positive feedback about how students weren't feeling well and were able to get a prescription sent to their local pharmacy. So it's a fantastic resource. There's also daily meditations you can log on to. There's short somatic exercises that you could do, you know, particularly around finals and midterm time to get yourself sort of, you know, centered and ready to go and approach whatever you need to in your classroom environment. So it
Jen,
is really a fantastic resource.
I've heard they have health and wellness coaching too that students have utilized.
Yes. There's a health and wellness coaching component also, so you can set up appointments with a coach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then quick question, because I often get this, is it, and someone just asked as well, is it a free resource? Is it through our insurance privately? How does that work?
It is a free resource to our students.
Yeah, the school covers the cost. There's no co-pays. So complete, no matter who you are, where you're at, our students have access.
It really is, Jessica. It really is an amazing resource.
I like to compare it to, and it's like, it reminds me of back in the day when I was on campus, like it's our version of like having that health center available, except it's even more accessible since it's literally on your phone or computer. You don't
Or
have
the
to,
counseling center. It's like the
yeah.
counseling center and the health center in one place. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's incredible, and I'm really actually proud we offer that. And with students, I had one student the other day, she goes, I knew we had it, but I hadn't used it, and I finally did, and now I'm so mad I never used it the first few months. So I definitely encourage everyone, once they're enrolled, to immediately sign up at least, so you can like get in there, see what's there, and then you have an easy login if you do need to access it, fairly quickly.
Yeah. For sure. I use it for the breaks, the 5-minute stretch breaks. I love it. The breathing exercises. I find it super helpful.
And then I
Yeah.
always tell students too, from the career services perspective, like it's free for that health and wellness coaching. So if you're looking to do components of health and wellness coaching yourself professionally, what a great opportunity to not have to pay for it and actually experience it firsthand, or maybe try a couple different health coaches and like their way of doing things. Yeah, just really neat.
For sure. Yeah. And then finally, we have our tech support. So we have a great tech team who is available if you're having issues logging in or setting up your different accounts. We have a team on staff that can help you navigate those tech issues that might come up for you.
Yeah. So, any questions so far? I think, again, the key here is I really wanted this opportunity for Jen to come talk with us, because a lot of people are surprised. How does an online school, like, what am I going to experience? And we just want to put this really front and center, that there are all these resources and it's really varied. And that sense of community is important to us, as well as your success overall. So, next slide. Ooh, this is
Policies.
important. Key policies. These are some really important points that once students become enrolled, we want to be really honest, transparent, but make sure you're just really aware that they're there. Because when there's stressful situations, some, different situations come up, you're sort of ahead of the game by being aware of them versus, trying to flip through a catalog real quick. And so Jen's going to highlight these. And if you have questions, please ask while she's going through them.
Yeah, and these are policies that come up in day-to-day conversations and, just serve as reminders to students. We do have this continuous enrollment policy, and basically what that means is that students are held to this continuous enrollment expectation. And it just means that when you're committing to be an ACHS student, you're committing to enrolling in each semester until you're graduated. And that's pretty much the long and short of it, right? So we have three semesters a year. We have our fall semester, our spring semester, and our summer semester. And the continuous enrollment policy states that when students enroll, they're agreeing to sign up for each consecutive semester until graduation. And then that brings us to the leave of absence policy, which says, hey, sometimes life happens and you have to take a semester off. And so we have this policy built in for emergency situations. Should something come up, you could work with your student coach advisor to figure out what a leave of absence could look like for you. And what it allows us to do is hold your enrollment status open during that designated time that you're not going to be in the classroom.
Yeah.
With us.
We don't want you to have to completely withdraw when it's just a pause or break due to those circumstances. And so they could walk you through that procedure if something unique comes up for you.
Mm-hmm. We have this policy, an incomplete policy. So basically what that says, again, it's if there's an emergency situation in the middle of your semester and you're working really hard in your classes and something comes up that might or potentially could prevent you from successfully finishing your classes, you could meet with your advisor and talk through what the incomplete policy are you eligible for it? There are certain things, eligibility requirements to be able to take an incomplete grade in a class, but what it does is it allows a little more time after the class ends to finish that class that you're in if you're eligible to get an incomplete. And again, it's unique to each student, each situation, and it's a conversation that you would want to have with your coach or advisor. But it is available in an emergency situation.
And the beauty of that policy, Jen, is that we have these. So if you are eligible, it's a way to help you keep moving through your program and finish successfully in that situation. Because we know, again, certain things come up that might be out of your control, and we want to help you finish out your term.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's there in case we need it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
then finally, our refund policy. We have our refund policy, which is just important. It's an important policy. It breaks down important dates and how, dropping a class at certain dates could impact potentially financial aid or creating a balance that you might owe to the college. So it's just important to keep in mind that there is a refund policy.
And I like, with the refund policy, I think it's important to note that we're a very hands-on college, very practical. Students have the choice to also purchase their textbooks through us. So if there is an unusual situation and say you do have to drop a class, it's just really important to communicate with the staff of student services so you really understand if you're going to have any sort of balances, if the books you received returnable, just having the full picture to help you make the best decision in that circumstance, but also stay in good standing in terms of, any of those financial commitments. But we're here to be honest and transparent and fully be there to communicate that information to you. And so that's really key to connect with student services at any point that might come up.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to be aware of the different policies that are, that are here and that you're committing to.
What is a quick, easy way to look up the general policies, Jen, if someone wanted to review those overall for the school?
Sure. Well, you could go to our website and you can go to the program catalog. That's one way. But I would also ask you, Amanda, in the admissions process, do students get access to these policies?
They do when they finalize enrollment. It's part of the registration paperwork students complete. So I always sort of joke with my students that, you've probably read the catalog and you've been navigating the website for the last, say, month or so we've been working together. Oh, whoops. So you probably have seen some of these here and there, but when you register, it's a time to take some time and actually make sure you've read them through, you understand. If you have questions, we're here to answer them. But if you ever need to find them again once you're enrolled, yeah, the catalog is always the quickest way, I say, to pop it open and do a quick search of the PDF catalog. But you also can find the policies under the student services sort of department on the website. The menu comes down and you can go to the FAQ page and find them there as well to quickly review. But we can always send you links too if you have a quick question and help you navigate and have that saved. Did I miss any part of that?
No, but I did just put it in the chat. That's why I was quiet for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because even something like a leave of absence, I've had situations come up where medical emergencies, someone's work sends them away for a month in a very unusual situation and they're not going to have internet access. So it's just, yeah, I love that we're highlighting those today because it's things we get really excited about school and we just don't think always of those fine details. Ooh, how to apply and enroll. Okay.
I just wanted to just take a quick temperature here and see if there were any questions. I know that we just gave so much information, so if there's any questions or anything
Yeah.
at all, just
Again,
take a minute to.
thing you're curious about, truly don't be shy. We love answering the questions.
Yep.
Because if you have and you're curious about something, I guarantee someone else is, literally.
Okay. Looks like we're good.
Cool. For anyone with us today that hasn't formally applied yet, we have a pretty smooth process, and I always say it's fairly painless. We have an online application that probably takes about 20-30 minutes at most to finish. We try to keep it really streamlined. We know not everyone has 5 hours to work on an essay. But the application itself is a sum of your background, where you're coming, where you want to go, what you're passionate about, what your goals are. And so your admissions advisor can get a really good snapshot about who, what, where, and collecting that information again to help you navigate to the right program, but also put the best foot forward for the admissions committee. Your admissions advisor will also work with you one-on-one on determining your official transcript needs. But we do need official transcripts to complete your application, and that can just look a little different for each person, whether or not you're a high school graduate and you haven't started college before, or you've maybe attended a couple schools or professional programs. Military students have additional requirements and compliance that we have to be aware of as well. So your admissions advisor will help you through all of that, and even how to order the transcripts, where to go, how to have them sent here. And once your file is all complete and put together, we move it forward to the admissions committee, and typically students usually will hear back within, I'd say, 24 to 72 hours at the most. We try to keep that process rolling so you have the information you need to make decisions about, of course, moving forward with your academic plans. And then upon acceptance, we literally sit down, help you draft out your first 2 to 3 semesters of classes, choose your book preferences, confirm shipping addresses, and then walk through the steps of securing funding. And that's a little bit different for each student. Some people have college fund accounts, tuition and employer reimbursement programs, military benefits, financial aid. So we're here to help you each step of the way in that regard. And then once your funding is in place, we're going to sit down and actually help you finalize your enrollment, help you begin the new student orientation, which for our summer students is in mid-April. And then, of course, we're here to be your cheerleader and starting your first week of classes as well. And then honestly, a lot of us stay in touch with our students. You know, we always say, even though we're here to get you going and get started, you can always reach back out to us. If you want to continue your education after graduating from a program, reaching back out to us to help you move forward and stacking those credits and enrolling in your next program. So yeah, it's a little bit different. It says each person's unique, but again, pretty streamlined process, and we're here to help each step of the way. Any questions so far after that? Not quite yet. Next slide.
Oh, I do have a question.
Yeah.
For fall semester, when do we have to apply by?
Oh, okay. So fall. I'm going to start this with fall is the most popular and common traditional time of the year to start school. It is incredibly busy. I encourage students that are looking at starting classes in September versus May or July, to start the application process for fall beginning after the first week of May. That way you have time to get through every step of the process and secure funding and be able to also choose the classes you want. It is not uncommon, especially in the fall time, for classes to fill up. So to be able to get through the process stress-free as possible, not have to worry about classes filling, definitely begin the process in May. But for those students, because we are continuous enrollment, we have the traditional 15-week semester that does begin May 6th. It's a Monday. So you don't have to wait until fall if you have time to start school in the summer. And we also, for students that may have, like I have a student who's running a retreat outside where there's any technology access. She's looking to start classes at the beginning of July so she can jump in and take some classes before fall. So that's also an option. We have that mini session for students that didn't quite make summer, but they really just don't want to wait until September either. So there's a lot of opportunity between now and then. But yeah, definitely fall students, start the process in May, please. Of course. Thank you, Angela. Oh, and speaking of, here's those dates. So I will, our priority application deadline for summer is March 22nd, but we have wiggle room on that. That's just the priority deadline to set again, so we're not rushing last minute. The most important date for our fall or summer students, is April 5th. Students that enroll into classes after April 5th will have a late registration fee, but registration may stay open after the 5th as seats are available in classes. And then of course, summer term begins May 6th, goes for 15 weeks. Students finish their finals week in August, and depending on when you submit your finals and complete your finals, students have a little over 2 weeks off before they start classes in the summer. For students that are not able to jump into the May semester for summer, we do have that summer 2 session that technically is 7.5 weeks. So we call it our mini session, and it begins June 27th, but it still ends the same week our summer term does. So those students will also have a little over 2 weeks off before classes start in the fall. So I think sometimes students don't realize that's another sort of something we focus on. We want to make sure you still get breaks. Students do have time off between each semester. I want to say they average on 2 weeks during sort of that traditional holiday time during December. It's more like 3.5 weeks with the holidays. So you still get a break in between each term. We're not going to work you where you get no relaxation time. Any questions about the timelines? I don't think so. Next slide. Here's our amazing admissions team. You may recognize some names and faces if you've already started working with anybody. We are all here to support you. So if someone is out of the office unexpectedly or is away, anybody can assist you. But we, just like when you work with students, your student services advisor, you do get to work with us one-on-one. So we really get to know each other pretty well, which is nice. And, but you can contact any of us if you need any support through the admissions process, or go online to the website and make an appointment with anybody who has a time that matches best with yours, which I think is really nice because everyone's schedule is very different. Next slide. Oh, I think we're at the end. So this is our opportunity. If you have any last questions, please, again, don't hesitate to ask us today. You can send us a quick email to our main admissions account. If you are attending today or watching our webinar a little bit later this week, and you have questions as a newly enrolled student or a student coming that's close to registering, I can always get you in touch with student services as well. Any last tips or advice for students starting school this summer, Jen, from your perspective and department? How can
I would say,
Mhm.
oh, sorry, I didn't catch that last part. What was
That's
that?
okay. I apologize. I was just gonna say, as students get started and enrolling for summer, but before the first day of class, yeah, what can they do to just feel ready?
Yeah, for sure. I would say, once you're officially registered, please make an appointment with your student services advisor coach so that you can really get to know the person that you'll be working with. And that I think is super helpful. I think it sets a nice, it sets up the relationship early on, and you know that you're going to be working together hopefully until graduation. So it's going to be, you know, an important relationship. So reaching out to your student services person, we'll reach out to you if we don't hear from you, but yes, for sure, let's make that connection. Get yourself set up in a space that feels good for you to be able to sit down and concentrate. You know, maybe do a little reflection on how you like, what is your style for learning? Do you need a lot of Post-its? Do you need a lot of, you know, calendars? Do you need, you know, the whiteboards, the dry erase markers up so that you can, you know, keep up with the things that, you know, will help you stay organized? Do you need a daily planner that you can write in? Do you need a virtual planner? What is your preferred style, and how can you get yourself set up to get ready to go? Ensure that you have a laptop that works, it is up and running. You know, we didn't mention this, but it really is important that you have either a PC or a laptop that has an updated operating system so that you can focus in your classroom. There's a very limited access on tablets and the phone, so it is really important that you have a nice setup. And if you need help figuring out what a setup would look like for you, we're happy to have that conversation.
Oh,
Get
another
into the orientation.
yes. Right before that, I was gonna suggest backup plan for technology. Life happens, weather, storms, internet goes down. Do you know where your local library is in case you needed to use their computer internet one weekend? Do you have a friend or family member you could use their computer if your laptop, the dog jumps on it and it falls off the table and breaks? Just a backup is my best advice.
Yeah, or like, does your phone provider have a hotspot option that you could add on for, you know, in just in case you do, your internet does go out to you, how can you connect to your hotspot on your phone in a pinch? So those are all things I would say to get started. That would be helpful.
And then, yeah, like Jen mentioned, start orientation. We give everyone 10 days to complete it, but that is going to be, we mimic it after an actual course. So you're completing it as if it's a class. And it's been really successful because students feel so comfortable by the time it's the first day of classes because you've used the classroom, you've navigated it, you learned where everything is. It is just so important to complete that whole orientation process because it truly does set you up for success and put your confidence where it needs to be jumping in that first week of school. Awesome. Well, thank
Yeah.
you everyone so much for attending. Thank you so much, Jen, for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, it's really nice to work together, and we look forward to seeing all of you in classes, and we hope you have an amazing rest of the week. Take care, everybody.